Powerpose combines elements of yoga, Tai Chi, and classic physique posing.
Really?
And so we're going to twist down and crunch. Exhale.
The question I get most frequently is, how do you develop the chest?
Doing on a pet food diet, because pet food diet is no different than Atkins, Jenny Craig and all the other ones.
Gennaro Ferra, a former Mr. Australia, is here today to tell you how a gluten and lactose-free diet can help take you to a whole new level of fitness. And then, if you think everyone who's into fitness is a narcissist, Ian Lauer tells you how working out for someone else can help you from being too self-absorbed. And then Michael Konolwalski is embarking on a fitness documentary that makes Supersize Me look like Mini-Me. First up, Gennaro Ferra. Great to meet you, Gennaro.
Great to meet you, Greg.
So I should say you came all the way here from New York.
Yes.
Seen the show on YouTube.
Yep, I'm a follower of yours. I really enjoy your interview style, and I get quite a bit out of just viewing the different professionals you interview.
Well, thank you. Well, I appreciate that, and I was glad to hear from you because we do get so many responses to the fitness show. It's always nice to know people all over are watching them. So. Great to hear that. But I also like the fact that you had kind of a unique angle for this with the gluten and lactose-free diet. So what's that all about?
Well, basically, as a former Mr. Australia, in preparation for those big shows like the Victoria and the Australia and then eventually the Universe, we were advised to eradicate all products that contain gluten and or wheat, as well as dairy or lactose products. So
really,
yeah.
Now, why is that? Why do you want to get rid of it?
Well, because it just creates a tighter, more defined physique, especially leading down to the last sort of 8 weeks of the show. And I as a fitness and nutrition coach, and now into my almost 20th year of doing this, I've carried this into my nutrition principles, and I make sure my clients take on, if not eradicate the gluten and dairy, at least eliminate a lot of those foods.
Okay, because sometimes you hear about people these days being allergic or lactose intolerant or something, but it's not really coming from that point of view. It's more just from just nutritional.
Yeah, basically, if they are in fact lactose or gluten intolerant, we'll identify that in the online forms that I send out to them. So that's part of the whole questionnaire. But I find that in interviewing people and assessing them on their diet, because that's part of what I do, I get an overall vision of how they eat throughout the day, and I'm finding that they're having wheat-based and dairy-based products for breakfast. Again, those same sort of foods mid-morning, lunch, mid-afternoon, and then again for dinner. So they're constantly ingesting gluten-based and dairy-based products, and these foods tend to build up into the system and create a more puffy puffier look and a sluggish, tired person. For example, I'm Italian Australian, so
yeah, you've got an interesting mix because Italian, Australian, New York. You kind of
Well, we moved from Naples, Italy, to Australia, and thankfully my father and the extended family held on to our Italian roots. So for lunch would normally be a large pasta with some beans and some vegetables. And what I found was the pasta dishes would put us to sleep.
I love Italian food, but let's face it, it doesn't really lend itself to fitness modeling, does it?
No, not really. Although. It is a great source of carbohydrates, and as for someone who wants to put on size, I think pasta can be a great mass building food. But again, there are alternatives like gluten-free, brown rice pasta, which is gluten-free. There's also buckwheat pasta, quinoa. So there are many different varieties of grains that are gluten-free that come in the form of pasta. So if you know, if you're kind of missing that texture with the sauces and the added proteins, you can always opt for, you know, those gluten-free alternatives.
So I saw some of the recipes you have here. So if you're taking the good stuff away from us, what do we get in return? What are some recipes that that I guess comply with your?
For example, lately I've gone off oatmeal as well. So me and my clients tend to start the day off with. It's called cream of buckwheat cereal.
Kind of like cream of wheat, or?
Kind of like cream of wheat, only it's made from buckwheat. So you boil up the water, you add, say, to a cup of water, you would add half a cup of this cream of buckwheat, stir it for 5-10 minutes, and you have it, you know, dressed up with some raisins and cinnamon. You have a delicious high carbohydrate breakfast that's going to keep you tight and give you the energy to go on, whether you're intending to go for a long power walk or a workout. And if you need the extra protein, you add a couple of scoops of whey protein concentrate and off you go. You know, obviously occasionally you might get sick of the cream of buckwheat. You can opt for buckwheat pancakes. And what I do with
This is sounding good already. I'm liking both of the alternatives here.
Yeah, I mean, what I do with the buckwheat pancakes is I use buckwheat flour, and then I also purchase a gluten-free pancake mix, which gives it a little bit more lift. And so I combine the two with about 6 egg whites. Again, I try to not use any dairy products, so I'll use almond milk instead, just to give it a little bit more consistency. And you know, you can throw raisins in there or fresh fruit.
Well, I know you also have your Powerpose program.
Right.
Can you tell me a bit about that?
Well, Powerpose combines elements of yoga, Tai Chi, and classic physique posing.
Really?
And it was born out of the need to establish a routine for clients who weren't actually connecting to the particular muscle being worked. So I felt that you know, a lot of people who work out just sort of, you know, flap their wings in air, so to speak. You see it a lot in the gyms. They're just mindlessly and aimlessly, you know, rowing or pushing a weight, and they're not really connecting to the muscle and feeling the muscle contracting and stretching. And that's why I created Powerpose, was because it's weights free, and it just involves the mind and the body in the whole movement experience.
And this is, as you said, something you came up with yourself. This is your own.
This is a product that I've trademarked and that I've created, and I teach small group classes in New York, as well as I also combine Powerpose in the weight training routine with my clients.
Well, in our final minute, can you give me just some examples of maybe what some of the exercises are or how it all works?
Yeah, well, a fantastic little routine for someone to do. For example, when I was on the plane, you know, in front of a bathroom mirror plane or hotel mirror plane, basically this is called the seated, obviously because I'm sitting, the seated overhead genie would be, bring the hands down, press them together and squeeze. So push as hard as you can, Greg, if you want to try that. Now, as you're doing this, be mindful of your breathing. So you want to exhale and contract your abdominals. Good. Push
you
your
can just see already you got like a big pump.
You want to push your biceps into your chest. And then to transition, we bring our arms up and over. Inhale to transition, and we again press our hands together above our heads. Keep them above your head, Greg. And again, press. And this is now working our upper lats. So for someone, this is a perfect power pose to perform if you're supersetting chest and back. So if I often superset chest and back, I like to do a rowing with a pushing. This would be a nice in-between drill to perform between
you can just
supersets.
tell it really gets
chest, and then we come up and around for the lats and a little
I'm
bit of the
sorry
upper
we are
chest.
out of time, but thank you
No
very
worries,
much,
Greg.
Gennaro Ferra. You can come back sometime and tell us more about it. But I already,
Definitely.
it's very interesting, though. You know, just sitting here doing
That's
that.
just one of them. There are a whole bunch of poses that they can view on my website.
Okay, we'll come back and tell us more sometime.
Great.
We'll be right back. We'll just do it one more time. So, okay. So. Good to see you, Gennaro.
Hi, Greg. How are you?
Great to meet up with you here in New York. It's so beautiful here in the park. I love it.
Gorgeous, isn't it? The great thing about Powerpose is that it targets often neglected areas like your calves and your intercostals, which is what we'll be working now. So place the hands behind your head lightly. We're going to move into a tippy toe side crunch. So we're going to twist down and crunch. Exhale to contract the obliques as we slowly descend into a squat again. Keeping those arms flexed. Keep your torso nice and long. Okay, now let's work our way up. Now you want to keep that tummy nice and tight as we keep our arms flexed, standing on the calves, flexing the quads.
And we are back. Joining me now is Ian Lauer. Great to meet you, Ian.
Pleasure, thank you. Nice meeting you as well.
And there's a little bit of a story how we have you here today, so I just thought I would mention that I actually heard of from a fan of yours in England, which again I love when we hear from people who watch the show on YouTube from all over the place, and he said, hey, there's this guy Ian you should have on the show, and here you are today. So
yeah, thank you for the recommendation to come in. Thanks for having me, of course.
I think that was what, John?
Josh.
Yeah, Josh in
yep.
England. Sorry about that. And also, but you just moved here from San Diego as well.
Correct. Yeah, I was in San Diego for about 10 months and now up here in LA.
How do you like LA so far?
I love it. I love it. You know, you hear a lot of different things about it, but I'm having a great time.
So you were at a red carpet event last night, was that?
Yeah, a VMA post party, after show party, which was a good time. Yeah, a lot of fun. That's why I couldn't hear you on the phone.
Yeah, I won't ask you how late you were out or anything.
No. It was a mild night.
Well, I guess actually this ties into the Hollywood thing. Mm-hmm. When we were talking about things we might go over today, you mentioned, well, on the motivational side, but even also, you know, there's the idea that if you're into fitness, that, you know, you're being narcissistic, or people are all wrapped up into themselves. You know, gee, you're not here in LA, right?
Hard to believe, right? Hard to believe. Well, yeah, that does tend to be the perception amongst people. If you're in shape, you must be a narcissist. But what I have learned, and when I've worked with a number of different clients in the past, is if you set a goal for yourself, yeah, you may or may not achieve it. But I worked with a lot of parents, or maybe I have a spouse or a daughter or something, whatever the case may be. And if I were to take that person and explain to them they can be here for their son or their spouse in 10 years, or if they're not taking care of themselves and they're going to pass on, their family member is going to be quite upset, right? So if I can help that person realize that they're not working out just for them, they're getting fit and working out for their family, for their friends, then they're more likely to get on track and stay on track. And yeah, they look great in the process. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, and that's a good point, though, that, I mean, there really is a health aspect to this, and not because, you know, sometimes, I mean, I don't believe in putting people down because of the way they look, but sometimes, you know, when you get into the whole, like, big is beautiful type of thing and not losing weight and stuff, but then you can have a heart attack and...
Well, right, and there are two extremes. If you don't do anything, you're putting yourself at risk, for sure. But then you can take it to the extreme the other way, and then you can run into eating disorders or exercise disorders. Right. So you have to find the happy balance, the happy medium.
Well, you know, since you mention it, we talk about we've had a running debate on the show about steroids. What do you think about that? Because sometimes, you know, people run into that.
Yes, and to each their own. I'm natural for life, and I continue and plan to be natural for my whole life. So that's where I am. Everybody has their own belief, and for some people, maybe they are prescribed testosterone because of a low testosterone count or something like that. If you have a medical condition, you know, that's one thing. I think one of the big issues now is just the extreme abuse of the steroids, and a lot of people are looking for the easy way out, and they don't understand that you can get where you want to go. It just takes time doing it the clean or the natural way.
Yeah, well, and it's good to hear from somebody like you who's in great shape. You're what, 6'1"?
Yeah.
And how much did you weigh?
Now I'm down to about 190. At one point I was a little over 240. Again, naturally.
240?
242 was my top weight.
Wow, that's huge.
And it was. I didn't feel that big at the time, but I bent over one day to tie my shoes, and I said,
really?
And I wasn't out of shape, but just bulk. And I realized, well, wait a second, that's not the way I want to feel. And then for acting and for fitness modeling and even for personal training, people are looking for a trainer that looks more athletic now.
Wow.
And for acting, of course, if you are a bodybuilder or huge, then you really pigeonhole yourself into certain types of roles.
Because I'm trying to, and like I say, you're in great shape already, but I'm trying to imagine you with 50 pounds more. I mean, that would really be...
Yeah, I was pretty big. I put an old suit on, and I was like, whoa, whose is this?
It's like people who lose a lot of weight but the other direction, but like you can wear stuff now you couldn't wear before, but not because you were fat, but just because you had so much muscle.
It was a different build for sure.
But you're 4% body fat?
Right around there. I mean, it depends, and it could be 4%, 5%, somewhere in there. As a fitness model, you always have to be in shape. Where bodybuilding, you have bulking phases and cutting phases. So you may see a bodybuilder off season, they look huge, and then they look really tight and ripped, during competition. But for fitness modeling, you don't know when you're going to get the call. It may be, oh, we need you tomorrow for a test shoot. And well, you better be ready tomorrow for your test shoot if you want to get the job.
I guess that's good motivation there, right?
So pretty much year round, you need to be right there. So I always hover in the 4%.
Now, I know you also do some personal training. Do you have a hard time motivating clients? I mean, is that a big issue for most people?
Well, that's the hardest thing for people to understand is that they're going to get where they want to go. Because so many times we've been told that you take this pill or you use this product or whatever the case may be, and you'll get there in 3 days. Well, we fail. When we try that, it's not going to happen. It doesn't work that way. So in their head, they've already decided that they're going to fail no matter what they do. They don't believe they're going to get where they want to go. So the biggest challenge is teaching people and getting them to believe in you so they believe in themselves that they're going to achieve the result. And that also is where I learned when I was working with my clients to help get them to focus on someone else as well, so they know they're not just doing it for themselves. Because we want to help other people. Naturally, you want to help other people, and if you can help someone else by helping yourself, you're more likely to succeed.
All right. Now, what age were you when you started working out?
Oh. Oh man, I remember doing Beverly Exercise, which was on public TV. My mom would be exercising doing it, and it was this
it
was kind of like Pilates style work. She was laying on her stomach doing these leg scissors and side leg raises and all of this stuff. And just as a little kid, I used to like to do that.
You're lucky she wasn't watching Richard Simmons.
Well,
you were. You grew up watching.
I may have seen those short shorts and the striped tank tops. I may have done some sweating to the oldies. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I remember his exercise programs as well. And then of course, really started getting into it when I got into high school for football. I was a football player through college. Okay. So it was really about getting bigger and stronger for football. And I just fell in love with working out.
Did you notice, since we were talking about steroids, or even you hear a lot about performance-enhancing drugs and stuff these days, I mean, was there pressure in high school? I mean, were people doing things like that or not?
People, boy, how do you put this? I don't want to be one of these.
You don't want to name names.
I'm not sorry, Mr. Canseco. I'm not going that route. No, let's just put it this way. I have known people in my life that have used performance-enhancing drugs. And it's not a pressure like you have to do this, but the hard part is the inner battle when it's available and you have to make a decision. You can either use this and have assistance in achieving your results, or you can stick to whatever your belief may be, and mine is to keep it clean and keep plugging along. And the hardest part for me was really believing that I was going to get where I wanted to go. Yeah. So that's why I'm so big on helping people realize that they will get there, because I was the scrawny little kid that was not comfortable in my own skin.
Really?
And oh yeah. As a kid, I was just the scrawny little guy. So it took me a long time to get through that and past that, and now being comfortable in my own skin, I want to help other people that are in that same situation where they may not feel like they're going to succeed, and they may think it's impossible, but I've lived it, I've been through it, I've helped tons of clients get through it, so it is possible.
And now, I also want to mention that you're working on a reality show.
Yes,
that
yes.
could hopefully help people. I like the more positive ones. So this is a fitness reality show?
Yes, sir. Cooking Me Skinny. You can see it on Facebook and our website, cookingmeskinny.com.
Oh, so you're a big cook?
No, I'm not the cook. My cooking skills end at oatmeal and chicken breast. But I'm the fitness director.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be helping our clients or the people get through, or helping with their exercise design, teaching them, okay, so like, say you like to ride bikes. That's like your hobby. Okay, well that's going to be the base of your fitness program. And then we'll go into, well, we need to add a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and sprinkle on some paprika. You know, so whatever it is like that you enjoy, that's going to be the base of your program, and we'll work around it. Going from there.
Okay, well in our final minute I wonder too, since you're a big guy, you know, I think most guys want to get a big chest and all of that, and so how do you, what's your tip for getting in the, you know, the big chest that everybody wants to get?
That's the question I get most frequently is, how do you develop the chest? And what I see most of the time at the gym would be partial reps. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but when you do a partial rep, see, the fingers aren't moving much. The pec is not really extending, not stretching. Now, when you go full rep, if you have a bar or dumbbells, you're going to bring it all the way down to the chest. And what happens there, now this is if you don't have a shoulder issue, make sure, you know, clear it with your doctor, so on and so forth, of course, disclaimer.
Don't try this at home except in the gym.
Yeah, exactly. But when you do a press, you're going to stretch all the way down until the bar touches the chest right at the highest point, and then squeeze forward. Now you see the difference? So this is a partial rep. You see how these fingers here are not moving hardly at all? No activation in the pec versus large stretch, good squeeze. So really working the stretch and the squeeze. And flies are great, keeping the elbows slightly bent to protect the shoulders, and squeeze through. So really focusing on full stretch, full squeeze. And also with cables, I love the upward squeeze, up and in. So if the cables are behind you, this is a great one for upper chest because most people have trouble developing the upper portion. So here it's just up, squeeze the pinkies together, and then back.
All right, squeeze.
Yep. And slightly bend elbows and squeeze up there. Oh yeah, there you go.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so
Ian Lauer.
much. You got it.
We'll be right back. We are back. Joining me now is Michael Konolwalski, a nutrition coach from Vegas, who's here today to tell us about his Choice Project documentary that he's working on. Great to meet you, Michael.
Pleasure to meet you.
Okay, so what's this Choice Project all about? I told him in the intro it was going to make supersize me look like mini me.
Yes, in a way, basically. I will maybe start on the beginning, since I started the Choice Project on January 1st, 2010, and I'm gonna end up in 4 months. Basically, what I'm doing actually during this 12 months period, basically, as you can see on the pictures, I was living my life to the high principles for myself, you know, eating right foods and exercising and doing certain things. So what I chose to do basically for 1 year, I chose to eat whatever I want basically, and I try to work out and do the whole thing for 1 year. And obviously what happens after a month and a half, I was eating whatever I want, and I want to record the psychological changes, what happens in my brain, what happens with my whole physical body also on top of it. So after a month and a half I couldn't handle, and I stopped working out.
Wow.
And the moment I stopped working out, I was living the dream, which I call illusion, which I'm in this stage right now. So
because, you know, when you sent the before and after pictures, or on the website I was looking at it, and like before you were in shape, and then it looked like you were going a little bit the other direction, and I thought, But wait, he switched the order there because you were in really good shape, but
Exactly.
you were kind of stressed out from it, though.
Yeah, it wasn't the point. It wasn't how to get fat. That's what a lot of people talks to me. It's like, oh, you only gain 10 pounds or whatever. It's like that's not the point. The point is I just want to see what actually, if I'm gonna gain 100 pounds or I'm gonna gain 2 pounds. The weight doesn't matter. The body fat kind of matters, and I want to see how my head kind of works in this type of suit. I call this stuff Goodwill suit, which is I used to have Armani basically, so I changed the physical body basically. So
because you were in good shape.
yeah, I was in a great shape, and then basically on the end, basically I want to repeat Supersize Me basically, so I will copy him. I hate to copy somebody, but I kind of want to prove the point that what happens with the Spurlock, I think what happens with him psychologically, he get really affected. That's why he had like the chest pain. He was freaking out because his body wasn't complying with everything what he was doing. So
now his was different because he did it for what, a month or two, but you're doing it for a whole year.
Yeah, but you see, the part is I eat what I want. So obviously, I kind of not proving a point because I'm not doing this stuff to prove anything. I'm under eater. Everybody talks about why people are overweight and all this stuff because we consume too much food. No, it's not truth. We actually don't eat enough. We don't eat breakfast. So I don't eat breakfast. I haven't planned that, but it comes within when you kind of you go into work, you do certain things, you stay there for a certain amount of time. You drink soda, or if you're lucky, you're drinking water, and your metabolism slows down. The whole side effects, you go to the bathroom every 2 days and so forth, so all the side effects, and then high blood pressure kicks in, high cholesterol, they're all the symptoms. So all the symptoms what I have right now, they're not really very drastic, so the doctors...
So, but do you have some sort of medical symptoms already from this?
Yeah, on the way here, that was the bizarre thing. I had a 5th migraine right now. The girls on the back just take care of me really well, they give me some stuff on the head, and
well, we normally give our guests headaches, by the way, so that's probably just from
the migraine is a very bizarre thing. I didn't have it, since I started the project. They told me back in my country, doctors, that it's hereditary. So my mother had it, and you have to have it too. So I was kind of leaving what they told me basically, and I had it once a year, regular migraine. So I attempted to manage this thing. 3 years before I started the project, I completely didn't have it, because I know it. I was doing the right nutrition, right foods, and a little bit meditation, and just completely wiped out the whole symptoms. And here it is. I started a project. This is my 5th one right now. So I was really afraid that I couldn't speak to you. My mojo will kind of go away.
Because you said it's affected your energy and just things like that.
It completely affects my ability to speak even.
Wow.
The clear thinking, blur vision. I was driving here. I was kind of, it was kind of spooky, and I did what I could the natural way. I actually want to pop the doctor's medicine, but I didn't know if I'm not gonna be here all messed up, so I just chose the natural way. Basically, I took some electrolytes, girls give me some stuff on the head, and I felt really, really good. A little bit of massage and helped me out a lot, so I'm good and going.
Well, it's good to hear they fixed you up with that.
Yeah, that was worth to come here.
I'll ask for one of those sometime. So how has your body fat changed? Because you said that's one of the things you're following is the change in the body fat.
Yeah, there was actually, I'll kind of come back to the thing what was already done it. Supersize Me was just done it. So, he tried to prove the point that the fast food is bad for us, and they're all making America fat basically. We're talking about America because we live here. So my friends always judging me because I'm pointing America and Europe, and kind of seems like Europe is better than America, but actually that's not what I mean. And I try to always politely connect myself. It's like, if it comes to Europe, if you want to talk about people are healthy in Europe, we have a better healthcare system. It's all BS basically. We're skinnier and healthier because we walk more. We're skinnier and healthier because the fast food is expensive, and that's the only reasons. You take all the Europeans to America, we have the same problem basically. So it's not really the food that makes really people. It's really the it's easy, it's comfortable, it's cheap, and the only one person you can kind of blame yourself. If I was talking about the fast food and supersize me, you know, it's because you go there, you demand the food. That's why they're there. If you demand different food, they would disappear. Basically, that's the whole thing. So.
Well, I'm sorry, we're getting short on time, but so your goal then after the year, then you're going to try to lose the weight?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to lose weight. I'm gonna do a really bizarre way. It's gonna start on January 1st, which is gonna be a huge challenge for me. First of all, I can't use any drugs, performance, anything like that. I have a very good education and a whole field of supplementation. And you know, I'm gonna use certain supplements. I'm not gonna advertise anything. I'm not doing this stuff for any type of reason of the business at all. Zero. I just hate that.
But you mentioned something about pet food.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna try to. I will do it. I'm gonna drop all my body fat basically to the lowest I've ever been before on a pet food without any cardio. So since I hate cardio and I hate diets, that's why I'm doing on a pet food diet. Because pet food diet is no different than Atkins, you know, Jenny Craig, and all the other ones you can name it. 160 diets we have already.
I think you said dog food, not cat food. Though,
yeah,
right?
It's actually pet food. Yeah, I like parrot sticks and you know maybe some rabbit food and whatever nutritionally is gonna be. I'm not doing this stuff for health reason. I'm doing this stuff for a lower body fat percentage. So I want to look good because everybody wants to look good. So and the side effects, whatever's gonna happen, I'm gonna deal with this stuff later on. But you know, I'm just doing what everybody wants. Everybody wants to have a great suit. Everybody wants to have a great body. So, but they really don't kind of. The problem is they don't know how to maintain, and that's where the problem is.
Well, you'll have to come back and show us how it goes on the pet food diet.
I can show you my belly
this is
right
RB4,
now.
okay.
That's
But we'll see
almost towards the end, yeah. We'll
And
see.
how much has your weight changed, do you know?
You know, it only changed about 10 or 12 pounds. I actually lost weight last month, about like 4 pounds. I don't know why, basically, but my body fat percent, that's what really mattered, jumped 12%.
12%.
So about,
okay.
I'll start in 10, I'm 12. That's the danger part. It's not about the weight, it's about the fat. So.
Well, thank you very much, Michael Konolwalski.
Pleasure.
Keep us posted on the Choice Project. I'd also like to thank Ian Lauer and Gennaro Ferra. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time.